because I was hungry. I had I like bologna. I don't like ham. I like bologna. This is transparency. I yes, but you know how they do it. I have bologna, so don't look at the package like trying to figure out what I had to eat over there. All of the pans are down below. Mm-mm. The pans, no, in the cabinet where all of the pans are on the other side. Now, the one that I use a grilled cheese sandwich and it's in the sink. Back to my channel. It's your girl, the Mother, and we are here with another video. This is going to be our Sunday weekly markup, and we are going to definitely look and see what we got in the market for the week. Tomorrow is a bank holiday for the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, but we definitely can find some markups. We are going to look at GBP USD, we're going to look at AUD USD, we're going to look at gold. We might look at a couple other pairs, but definitely not going to do too much because tomorrow is a holiday. And we're going to definitely look and see what we got going on in the market, you guys. So let's go. All right, so what we have, I have golds already up and I didn't do too much. So since this is a new week, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to remove all of my drawings. I'm going to go and start from the daily chart. Let's go ahead and we're gonna mark up our daily zones. So go ahead and mark up our daily zones, and we know that those daily zones are going to be for green. Let's do that and see if we can get that going. So whenever we are looking at our daily zones, I'm looking at the fact that gold has actually sold all the way down here to our daily zone and actually brought back up and stopped at this particular resistance area. And it's hit this area more than once and actually hit it, and now it's getting ready to go ahead and make a drop. So I'm looking for gold to actually do some type of drop back down to our daily. So because it has actually come to this particular high right here and it come right here also again. And so now I'm just looking for it to make that continuation of drop. And so why do I see that it's going to actually do this? Because I'm looking at how it creates these lower lows and all the way down to our daily. And every time it comes to a daily, we already know that if it hits the daily zone, that it's going to do a reversal. And definitely it did exactly that. It came down and it tapped this particular resistance. So now we are sitting at an area of support, as you can see from the previous. This is back in July. This is also in September. So we know that we have to put this right here because our candles have come to a stop. And now we're looking for it to break this and continue on down all the way down to back up until our donor zone. So now we can see that. Let's go ahead and let's go to our 4 hour. And that's what we're going to do that. We're going to go to the 4 hour and let's go ahead and let's make that pink. And we're going to do it like this. All right, so we know that our 4 hours are always pink, and we can clearly see that what it has actually done is that it comes to that particular area. We see that right here, right there, and it's actually making it drop. So it's stopping here. So now we know that we need to actually go back down, and it could come back to this particular trend line, right? So we know that it can definitely stop on this trend line. But we know that tomorrow is a holiday, so we don't want to look too deep into gold actually doing anything until after tomorrow. And that's just me personally. It can definitely move. I've seen trades move on a bank holiday. It just depends, right? It just depends on what's going on with exactly what the dollar is going to be doing. We don't really know what the dollar is going to be doing. We don't really know what it's going to actually do. So we're just definitely going to just kind of wait and see. So right now I'm sitting at a area of support, and I can see that on the 4-hour that it's actually come back to this particular area. So I see that my candles are constantly coming to this right here, and that's exactly where our trend line is. So I'm going to go ahead and put another horizontal line there. And so what we can do is that we have to break this particular support, and it's going to break it. It's going to figure out, it's going to retest, it's going to do all the things that it needs to do, but it's definitely going to actually come on down. But what I really wanted to do is that's 2,800 points, right? So that's a lot of money, a lot of pips, but we know that it's coming up and down in this particular area. Now, this is a 4-hour. So I'm not looking to actually enter the trade on the 4-hour because I'm not a swing trader, right? I don't hold trades. I don't do that. I don't enter, especially with gold. That's just me personally. I know people who do that and they do very well. It's just not me. It's just not what I particularly want to actually do. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to actually go down to my lower time frame, and there we do. We see we have a lot better outlook and see what's going on. So if you go to the 4-hour, you go to the daily, you clearly can see that it's coming all the way down. So one thing that I typically not like to do when I am marking up a chart and trying to figure out where it's actually going is that I do draw a great Fibonacci tool all the way here. So I'm looking at it came to the 23%. So it never really came up into it never bypassed this. And this is kind of back at that 23%. And now we are getting ready to get another drop. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to drop, and I wanted to actually break this particular support area and then come down. And this is one area that it could potentially stop at, and this is another area. So what I typically like to do is I will set an alert for both of these areas, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to set alert for actually it's sitting right here, so I want this to break so I can actually take it all the way down to this particular support on my demand area. So let's count how many pips that is from here to about right at there. That is a 3,000 points, you guys. So I know that it's definitely going to do some crazy moves this week, and that's what I'm actually looking forward to do. So I know that it's coming to the 23%, and that's where it is right now, but we have to break this. So when I see that happening, I always like to come to where there we go. Here we go. I like to come to see where we are on the 30-minute, and let's go ahead and let's mark up this particular supply and demand area. So let's go ahead and make this black because that's what we like to do. No itching. All right, so now we are here and we are at this area. So even though we've already marked up our, supply and demand and our Fibonacci on the 4-hour, I'm going to actually take this off, and I'm going to do a fib on our 30-minute. So we have come here, we've come back, and we've actually taken this trade from the high to the low. Let's exactly see where our candles are going to go, because you could draw a fib within a fib, or you can just kind of do your major fib, and then you can actually do a smaller fib on the lower time frame. So what I typically know that in order for it to do what it needs to do, it has to come up here and break this. So since the candles have not actually pulled back, they have not actually done anything major right now, it's really not as accurate as we want it to be, because we really couldn't see this on a 30-minute. So the accuracy has to come in when your actual candles have to have some type of reversal. So that's why I like to go to a higher time frame, because I'm actually able to see the reversal. So this is the reversal that it happened, and this is where our trade started, from all the way to here. So that is why I say you always want to come to a higher time frame to see where your candles are actually coming to, from the high into the low. So what it did was it actually came to the 618 on the on the 4-hour time frame. So you got to pay attention to when you are drawing up your field tool. So I'm showing the accuracy of every single time frame. So this is your 4-hour time frame, right? This is the 4-hour time frame. So it is going from the high to the low on the 4-hour time frame. So this is where the trade actually started. So you have to look and see. So you have to actually start from where that trade actually started and how it continued to go down. And then this is the reversal that it broke out. So that is why it is very important that when you are drawing up that field, that you are going from the start of that particular time frame, from that high all the way down to the low. So what we did was, a lot of times people want to start from here, and that's fine. You can start from there, but the accuracy is not going to be correct, right? So this is where you actually trade actually started from, because it started from here and it started to sell, and that is why it came to the 618, right? So 618 dropped down and it's at the 32%. So when you go down to a lower time frame, let's see if we did this, right? So this is also a field within the field. So if we're looking, this actually did a major trend. So let me show you something real quick. Let me show you how you can actually execute a field within a field. So we did this actual area, and right now we sold all the way down to the bottom. So we 618, we wanted to continue to come down. That's that. Right? This is the daily. So now let's do a field within a field, right? Where we at? We're at 38%, right? So we had 30% and we wanted to actually break down. And so this area is that what we're talking about on a lower time frame is this area right here. So this is our what? Our 50% zone. So now let's see. So once we look at the 50% zone, we can clearly see that if our candles break through here, it's going to come down, right? It's going to actually come down, come to this area, and we wanted to break 618. It's going to be next, and all so on and so on. So this is our major field, and this is the reversal that we have. So it's okay to do a field within a field. I like to do a field within a field so I can actually see what is going on. So on the major field, you're at 30%. On a smaller field, you're still at 38%, right? So the accuracy is definitely there. So what we have to do is you have to make sure that you're marking up your trades to preciseness, to the point where they need to go, right? So the Fibonacci retracement tool is one of the best tools. I think that is definitely a great tool to use. But I'm definitely looking for gold to continue. I'm definitely looking forward to continue. I can start this on a daily. Even if I mark this up on a daily. This is what I needed to do. The Keurig. This is what we're looking at. So this is that daily. So it's at the 23% on the daily, guys. But this is that 50% that we saw. So we have to understand is that it's got to come here, come to that area, break through that 50%. Another opportunity, come to the area, break through that. Next opportunity, break through that. and come on down, right? That's what we wanted to execute, each opportunity to execute that. So once we see that, we got to go down to a lower time frame, right? We see that what it's doing, the lower time frame is coming to this area and it's breaking up, but we wanted to break through there. So when we see that, we got to go into our moving averages. And we got the death cross going on right now. So now we have our death cross, and we also have our 800 sitting right here. So where the 800 is at, that is also letting me know that it has to break through the 800, because right here, we already have what we need. It's already crossing right here. And now we are actually needed to break through here. Now, we don't know exactly what it's going to do, but this is allowing me, this is letting me know that from the 200 and the 50, it is definitely a serious trend about to happen, start to form. So let's go ahead and let's look at what our RSI, what our MACD is doing, and it's below zero. It is definitely wanting to break. But in order for it to continue to this sell, guys, it definitely has to break this right here. It's got to break that fractal, right? So we wanted to definitely do that as much as possible. So I'm looking for it to break that. And I have several opportunities to get into that trade, but we know that it's going to come here, pull back, do whatever, retrace, retest, all of that. But let it break that first. And this is the 50%. So I know I'm waiting on that at the 50% on the lower time frame. And of course, if I go to the daily, it's going to come to that particular area, right? So we definitely know that we are looking for a sale. We go, but we have to have it to break this previous this previous low. We needed to break this 1687 area before we actually take it on down to here. So if we go down to the 15-minute, which I typically don't like to do, we have actually broken through the 800. And we have everything that we need right here, but it has to actually do what? Continue to break up, because there's a possibility that it could come back up and break this, but I'm looking for it to actually break through this zone. If it breaks through this zone, that is a nice drop, right? So that is definitely gold. I don't know what it's actually going to do. I'm not sure. I'm looking at the Bollinger Band right now. It is definitely continuing to go on. It's going to come to a squeeze or come to an area first before it actually takes off. So let's just see what it's going to do. Let's just see what happens. And that's, that's gold. We're going to wait on gold to see exactly what it's going to do. So let's go ahead and let's look at GU. What does GU got going on? So let's go ahead and let's delete this. Let's take all these drawings off of here and let's start on our daily. All right, I got GU. All right, we hit that daily, we got a reversal going, and then we actually came up to this area and we stopped. So let's go ahead and put a horizontal line there, because that is telling us that we came to a particular resistance, and now we are not breaking it. So we are looking for a continuation to the sale for GU. So same thing, GU and gold do the exact same thing, right? Whatever GU is doing, gold is going to also do that similar move. It's definitely going to continue on down, and I'm looking at it from here. So even if we put a fib on it, if we put a fib on this, let's start here. Let's go ahead and take this Fibonacci all the way down to the bottom, and let's see exactly where it is, right? So it's in between. It actually came to 30%, and it came right below the 30%, and now we're here. So we're back below our trend line. So on the daily, we're below the trend line, so which is letting us know that we definitely have a potential sale coming to the upside. So right here, it looked like it could form a W if it continues to go down to back to our daily, and that is 60. That's a Lord have mercy. That is some major, 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 major money. That is major. That is a lot of money, excuse me. So we're below our trend line, and let's go down to a lower time frame. Let's go to the 30-minute. Let's see what our 30-minute is doing for us. All right, so good. So now we're sitting at a low on a 30-minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark up that fib within the fib. So we're going to mark up that fib within a fib, and look where we are. Came up to 30%, came back up to 30%, and now we're sitting here. So one thing we do know that in order for us to actually execute this for the continuation for the sale, it's going to have to come back up. It's going to have to retest. It's going to have to retrace. It's going to have to do all of the things, but we know on the overall that we're looking at it for it to actually make this drop. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make this drop and break through this particular area and continue on down. But of course, on our lower time frame, it has the potential to do what? Break back up and stop and maybe come back down, because that's just what pairs do. That's just what trade, that's what they do. All right, so yeah, so we're looking for GU to actually come back down and see what we can, so let's see what we can do. Like, I don't really know. I'm not sure exactly what it could possibly do, because like I say, it is a bank holiday. So I'm looking for it to actually, and this is GU. So we got to understand that this is an area that it could possibly come up, and that's what it's doing right here. But we definitely don't know what it's going to do once it comes back down here, or if it's going to come back up and test this area and then continue to come down, or if it tests this area and continue to go up. So when we do, I put our moving averages on, we're looking at where our 800, 200, and our 50 are. So our 50 is sitting right here. So one thing I know about the 50 bounce, and I've learned that, you know, just over the time, is that this area right here is going to actually touch it, right? It's going to come up there, and then it potentially could, you know, break it. But if it does break it, this is the next area that you have to look out for, right? So this is your next area of resistance, but we wanted to do come up here, actually come here and come back down. So you have a potential to take it up depending on where your candles are, where the momentum is going. But overall, we know that we are looking at GU to do what? It's come back here. It's a possibility that it can continue to actually come back down and pass this area right here. But we can see, oh, excuse me. But we definitely see where GU is located right now. And we know that in order for us to break this, it would have to come through here and, you know, break this area and continue to go down to the sale that we are looking for. So like we was doing with gold, this is the same thing, you guys. It's got the death cross. So right now it's already letting us know. Take the fibs off. Right here, it's already letting us know what's going on, right? This is the cross that we were looking for. It is starting to do the cross, and this is on the hour. So if you go down to the 30-minute, you can see that it's already open. It already crossed over here. It is continuing to do that, but it would have to break this area in order for us to take it back up for the buy. It would have to break this. So you don't need to even look into get into this trade if you want to take this and then potentially do what? Take it back up here. But if it breaks this and it comes back up and it taps it, then you can come back down and take it right here. We don't know, right? So we're just following market structure. We're just seeing what exactly going to do. And we just don't know right now. So we're going to take GU and we're going to look at GU. We're going to look at AUD, USD. And those two are pretty much doing the same exact thing. So we know these are US pairs. These are major pairs. So that the bank will affect them on tomorrow. So it's really no need to us to actually take these trades and to look at these trades, right? So it's going to make a cross. So if GU decides that it wants to try to go back up and for the buy, you have to look at where it's actually going to break. And this is where you are looking at it to do that. Breaking here and then come back up, right? So we have a potential to take it on to both ends, but right here, this is on a 30 minutes. So we know that we are on a low on our 30-minute chart. So we're not going to take the trade until it actually figures out what it's going to do. If it's going to break this, if it's going to come back up, if it's going to do whatever, that it has to actually come into this area right here in order for us to actually break it. But the 200 is sitting right there, the 800 is sitting right there. So in order for us to even take this for the buy, to even consider it going back up into that buy, we definitely have to do what? We got to break this area first, right? And then we can take it on up. That's what I would do. But I'm looking at it could go either way, but definitely we're looking at it to break this area for the buy. And if we're going back down for the sell, but it has to break this particular zone because here it's touching here, it's touching here again, it's coming back up. So it has to, it's in between the zone. So we have, it's in the demand area. And we know that when it's in that demand area, we got to just be careful on, you know, what we decide we want to do. So that's going to be GU. We got gold. Let's go ahead. Let's look at another pair that's not on the ZH. So this is all color coded. Look at all good. So I know I look at EuroCAD. Let's go ahead. Let's look and see. All right. So let's go ahead and let's start from our. All right, you guys, let's do that. Let's look what we got. Let's start daily. All right, so we're looking at the daily chart. We're looking at here. I definitely want to look at a pair that maybe not. Well, let's look at another one because this may affect. Let's see what we have. All right, so I want to look at GN. I have to look at GN because it's just a pair that's it's not going to be too much affected by the holiday. All right. So we see that we got all right, so we're definitely looking at, here we go, we're hitting here, we broke through there, we're back at this area. So we have a lot of consolidation around here. And I'm doing support and resistance, so I'm looking at how many times my candles are coming to this particular area. So if we take this down to a lower time frame, I guarantee you this is gonna, there we go. So we've come to this particular support. This is the low on the 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and mark that up. Let's go ahead and let's look at that 30-minute chart. All right, so let's go ahead and move this up. I want to make sure that this has some accuracy around it. So there we go. So now we have actually, this is not really moving in a trend. This is kind of going up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's when it's always good to actually draw a field. So we got 50%. So look at where our 50% is. So we're in at 50%. We're get my fib doing all kinds of things. not what we're looking at. Now see how they messed it up. Wait, that ain't. Hold your horses. All right, we draw that field. What's going on here? Yeah, I don't know why it's doing all of that. All right, there we go. Let's get this back. There we go. Did they miss it when I did it? All right, there we go. So now we're back at 50%. You're gonna see where it actually is. In it, came back in it just a little bit, back up to 618. Came right back in the 50%, came right back in the 50%. So right now we are sitting sideways on that 38%, between 50%. So we really don't even have a trend. We don't have anything right now to look at. We don't have what's going on. So what it's looking like that it's doing is actually coming together for a consolidation. It's coming together to consolidate. You can see that it's going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So right now, in order for us to really execute the trade for a sale, it would definitely have to break this particular area, right? We wanted to actually come here and break this because it has been here multiple times. And right now, this is the 50%. So if it isn't a 50%, if it does come to the 50%, we got to know that we have our 618 and it's been here before. So we know that we have to have it to break this, right? So we know that we have to have it to do what? To break this. So this is what we are actually looking for it to do. If it definitely comes down here, we are actually looking at for it to actually go back up into this buy if it comes back here. So let's calculate to see if it definitely does that. That's a nice big move to the upside, and that's definitely a nice drop to the downside, right? So either way it go, we just have to let it break those areas, and let's put our moving averages on and let's see. So absolutely nothing. Everything is squeezing together. We don't know where it's going to go. We know that it is tomorrow. Once again, it's another holiday, but it's this GN. And so we needed to actually break out of either area. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to set my alerts on both ends. And that's what I typically do. I'm going to set an alert for here. And then I'm also setting an alert for here. Put this up right here, and there we go. So I'm actually going to set an alerts for this because it's not really moving. We got GN, we got gold, we got GU, and so we are actually just looking at those particular pairs. Let's go ahead and let's look at one more pair before we go. This is 4 pairs we're looking at. We looked at GN, we looked at AUD USD, we looked at GBP USD. Let's go ahead and let's find us something. Let's actually find us another pair. Let's see what we can see. Because we got all our CAD, we got our GJ, we got our Euro, we got CAD JPY, we got NZD JPY. Let's see. On NZD JPY. And so we kind of have the same type of deals going on. Not really doing too much right now, of course. It's our daily. All right, so let's go on down. Let's see what we got. All right, good deal. So we hit here, and now let's go because we're on a 4 hour. Let's go and draw this field up, y'all, on this 4 hour. All the way here, hit that 50%, coming all the way down. So we're looking forward to actually come right back down to this particular one. It could do that. That's a nice little move to the downside. I think that it actually can do that. But of course, like you say, this is just a smaller version of what it can come back down into. Let's see what we got on the 30 minute, y'all. Hit that high. All right, and then this and then hit that low. Exactly. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put our moving averages on. Perfect. So we got that depth cross happen. It came all the way down. We are hitting a low. So one thing that we have to understand is that we don't want to do anything until it actually does what it needs to do, and it needs to hit these particular areas, and it needs to go. So right here we have our 200. So either way it goes, I wanted to actually break this, because if it breaks this, then we have a great opportunity to take it to the upside, right? Because that's what it could possibly do. It doesn't have to do that, but we know that for educational purposes, we definitely have our moving averages to help us identify when we can get in, get out of trade. And of course, you can see that we definitely have our 50 right here. And so what we wanted to do is break this, take it up to the upside right here, break this again, and continue on going up, because we have multiple opportunities to get into a trade. But right now, we are looking at this on this particular area, and we know that it is a possibility it can definitely come down and hit that zone on the 4 hours. So if it does do that, then that's great. If it doesn't, then it is what it is. But we know that on here, we definitely are below, and we have a cross, and we have this particular cross. So I am definitely looking for it to come back down, and then have, like I say, if it breaks that, then we can potentially take it to the upside. So yeah, we definitely have about 4 pairs that we definitely can look into, and let's see if we can make some actual moves. There's nothing that we can do at this particular moment, because I'm gonna keep reiterating, it is a holiday. So I definitely don't like to trade. Some people do. I actually trade on Christmas, and it just was moving really, really slow. And then right after that, it started to do a crazy move. So we got gold, we got GU, we got NZD-JPY, we also got Great Britain pound, the New Zealand dollar. So let's just see how these particular things move. This is just my markup for my particular pairs, but you can apply these strategies, the system, the whole education purposes to every single pair that you trade. I trade very, very simple with simplicity. Just do zone to zone, do markups, do support and resistance, and I follow, especially with my 800 and my 200 and my 50. But if you want to know any more about these particular things that I teach and educate, you can always hit me at those links at the bottom. And while you're doing it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. See if you like this, comment on this video, let me know what you think. And yeah, so we definitely are going to see what the market is going to do for us this week. We're going to have a great, incredible week. And you got to always remember, you guys, man, look, it's never how you start. It's always how you finish. And this is the Mother. And I am signing out. I hope everybody has a great night. Enjoy.